What is enlightenment? What is love? What is the sound of moonlight on the receding waves? Enlightenment is just a story, like all other stories, like the dream of endarkenment. The story, the thought stream writing itself, and yet it feels like there is no longer anyone paying attention to thought, because it is known that I am thought. There's no one trying to pinpoint emotion. The self never existed, so it cannot dissolve. But it is like the cage of words, where it felt like there was a person inside, blocking out all light, all love, becomes transparent. And it no longer feels like there are separate things divided by space, or separate events divided by time, or as someone walking along a timeline in between birth and death. It is the end of belief in the dream of separation, yet it is still the dream. It is the end of belief, and therefore the feeling of an other, better, more, or next. It is end of belief in the past, belief in a future, belief in a now, or anyone to be in it or out of it. It is like this seamless flow, yet it is neither moving nor permanent. This love that has expanded infinitely, capturing all and everything in her seamless embrace. It doesn't happen to the imaginary self. It does not exist. It is not a prize. It is not a goal. It is not a thing. There are no things, or the absence of things. This knowing feeling of no thingness is not an understanding or a belief or a philosophy. So it can't be taught or learned or given away, because no one has this sublime emptiness. And yet there appear to be seekers who long for this thing called enlightenment. They are the longing. They are the seeking. They are the desire to end desire. They are the thought dream, like all of us, circling around, chasing its tail. What would happen if seeking stopped? What would happen if it was realized that there is no enlightenment to get and no one to get it? What would happen if it was truly known, without a doubt, that there was no other, better, more, or next? And there is no next. There is no time. There is simply this flowing thought dream. This net of words, this razor of words, seemingly creating things, weaving a web of a life and someone living it. Enlightenment is the dream of knowing and feeling always that there is no one living life. The feeling that life is not happening to a you. But it is the dream, as it entails the story of a before enlightenment and an after. And there is no escaping this dream. There is no one separate from it. There is no one having it. You are thought. All things are thought created, including thought. And there is no prescription. There is nothing someone can do or not do, because there is no one to do or not do anything or nothing. It is not an achievement or a goal. It is the end of all achievements and all goals and anyone to achieve them. It is the end of the path. It is the falling away of the very ground of being, that whole network of belief that all seemed to make sense, this understanding, this knowing. It is the end of knowing. It is the end of seeking for understanding. It is the end of seeking for solidity or permanence or certitude, and the end of belief in someone to have these things. And yet the dream continues. It is the dream. I'm still here. As real as you, as real as tomorrow, as real as enlightenment, and love and beauty. Real is just more description, isn't it? All seemingly creating this world, this universe of separate things and events. So separation is no longer felt. And yet I seem to arise, but there is nothing here. In the singing of it, I seem to arise in the loving of you. For we are just reflections of reflections. Echoland dreamscape. It's like infinite reflections of a most marvelous jewel, but there's nothing in the center of it. That's why looking for self, nothing can be found. And yet that won't end the belief in it. The feeling of solidity remains. The feeling of that there's something to get and someone to get it is what you are. So the end of seeking ends all by itself, just like life, doing itself, looking and feeling like anything at all. But it is not an awakening out of the dream. It is a dream of no longer believing or feeling the dream of separation. I'm just here walking along, falling in love with all and everything, falling in love with everyone I meet. We are love, falling in love with each other. For what is left after this profound shift in perspective but sharing our beautiful humanness? What is left but love? This is love unlike any ideas of love. It is like love has burned itself in this pyre, this conflagration of all and everything. And, love is enough. In love, as love, through love. I am in love with the love of it all.